Line War is a real-time strategy game released in May 2022 by Studio Centurion. The game breaks the mold of classic RTS games by trying to be more macro-oriented rather than micro-intensive. You can't control any units directly. Instead, you draw lines, assign units to follow those lines, and let them do their thing. You can assign certain units to attack certain buildings should they move close enough to attack it. You can draw defensive lines where ground units can dig in for a defensive bonus. You can also set points for units to rally around. All of these things have a certain distance in which units close enough will automatically get pulled to do that task, whether it's rallying, digging in, or moving. You can set lines to be either direct movement or attack movement. With direct movement, units won't stop to capture territory or engage enemies. They'll fire at units as they're close enough as they move by them, but they'll do less damage. With attack movement, units will stop to capture territory and engage enemies and do full damage. Let me break down how a match plays out for you real quick. All maps are randomly generated, right? So first, each player selects regions on the map that they would like to start the game in. Players go back and forth until no remaining territory can be chosen. If multiple players choose the same area or two areas that are too close to each other, then that region will be blocked from anyone starting there. Once spawns are chosen, the game starts, and the race is on to start capturing territory, strategic locations, and building up your force. Eventually, the players will find each other and the battle begins. Outsmarting, outplanning, and outmaneuvering the enemy is the key to victory. The only way to win is to convince your enemy that there's no hope for them, that resistance is futile, and that they must resign from the game. But to do all of that, you need a sufficient military. To create and sustain an army, you need to build up your economy. You earn money per minute by controlling territory, building towns, ports, and resource production. All of your buildings will consume a certain amount of income per minute as well. So if you want more units being made, you need to have a stronger economy. Vehicle units all use energy. You can gain energy by either building oil refiners and oil nodes, or by building a power plant. Oil refiners will produce much more energy than a power plant, but you're limited by how many oil nodes are within your territory. Power plants can be good to either supplement your oil if you're doing a vehicle-heavy strategy, or if you chose a spawn with no oil nearby and you'd like to have at least some vehicle support. The roster of vehicles includes tanks, SAMs, helicopters, jets, transport planes for paratroopers, naval landing craft, cruisers, submarines, and a bunch of other shit. If you don't have the energy to support these, they will not move, and they will not attack. The more you have in the field, the more energy you need to keep them going. The tug-of-war, auto-battler, grand strategy, rock, paper, scissors gameplay is a lot of fun, which is great. Games should be fun. So now, I'm going to get into some of the qualms I have with the game. Firstly, in case you didn't notice, the gameplay in the background of this video is replay footage from me playing with my friends. That's because I want to upload this video today, and getting live gameplay footage would require me to sit in a queue for an unknown period of time, given my friends are at work and can't just jump online to play a match of Line War for the sake of gathering footage. This game was pretty much dead on arrival. The player count peaked the month it released at a whopping 306 players. As of writing the script right now, there are 12 players online. I don't even think it's because the game is particularly bad or unapproachable. The game had potential to be an indie hit. I think the issue lies in lack of meaningful content updates ever since it launched. The game launched as a 1v1 multiplayer-only RTS with gimmicky controls. It's difficult to convince a group of your friends to buy a game, or buy it for them all when only 2 of you can play at once. And for the single-player crowd, there is no way to play against AI to learn the game or practice. The in-game tutorial consists of some videos the devs put together. Very bare bones.
Welcome to Line War, a new type of multiplayer strategy game.
It wasn't until December, not even a month ago, that we had teams and free-for-all added to the game so you can play more than 1v1. And it also just so happens that was exactly the time when a second one of my friends finally got the game, so 3 of us could play together. And now it finally has other friends of mine eyeballing the game, considering picking it up. But alas, that $20 price tag. It's a fun game, but one you can really only reliably play with friends. Sure, you can queue up to 1v1 one of the other 12 people playing the game, but unless you're a hyper-competitive loner, which most people aren't, nobody is going to play this game consistently. It's honestly shocking they released the game in the state that it was in. By the way, this isn't early access. Yeah, they're continuing support, but it's at a snail's pace. And yeah, I'd say the game stands alright on its own, it works, it's functional, but that doesn't matter if people can't play the game the way they would want to play it. A lot of people would like to play single player, but there's no AI. A lot of people would like to just play with their friends, but it's $20 and for the first 7 months after launch you could only play with one friend at a time. How many times has someone in your group of friends said, "What's a game we can all play?" And how many times was the answer to that Line War? Yeah, exactly, never, because you couldn't. But hey, now you can, 7 months too late. DOA, man, an absolute premature launch. And then here's the real kicker. One of the biggest selling points the devs have for this game is that they want it to be the next big esport title. Get a grip, man. First of all, any game that's designed with esports in mind is going to be a bad game. Of all the major esport games out there, StarCraft, CSGO, Dota, Rocket League, none of them were designed to be an esport. The community took it because they loved the game and made it as competitive as it is. If you want your game to be a successful esport, you have to have a community of people who love the game enough to take it there themselves. Look how far ahead of themselves they got. They're talking about renting out arenas for this shit in Sweden. Why? You didn't even have the foundation of esports that is community support. Anyway, I'd say Line War is a game that's fun with friends and unplayable without them. I think the game is permanently going to be stuck in player count hell due to their premature launch and lack of timely continued support. What do you guys think of this game? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, well don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Stay bricked.